the Nationals have a strong hand. They're smart to hold their cards. The Washington Nationals are doing exactly the right thing this winter, not much. Last week, they signed Brandon Kintzler to a 2-year deal so that they could keep their 7th, 8th and 9th inning bullpen firm of Kintzler, Ryan Madson and Sean Doolittle intact. On Thursday, they signed free agent first baseman Matt Adams, 29, to a 1-year contract to replace Adam Lind, 34, as their left-handed power bat off the bench. The two are as close in career/line, and 2017 production, as Adams is to Adam. But Matt is 5 years younger. Also, the 6'3" 230-pound Adams, who hit 20 homers and slugged .522 last year, has an astronomical 1.173 career on-base-plus-slugging percentage at Nats Park. These moves are classic tweaks by a team that knows when to hold them. I'm not advising holiday indifference. In the past 7 years, in December and January, the Nats have signed or traded for a dozen key men: Jason Worth, Adam LaRoche, Gio Gonzalez, Edwin Jackson, Rafael Soriano, Dan Herron, Denard Span, Tree Turner, Joe Ross, Max Scherzer, Daniel Murphy and Adam Eaton. The spirit of the season frequently activates owner Ted Lerner, and his buddy and advisor agent Scott Boras, or general manager Mike Rizzo. Sometimes, while Rizzo works on one thing, the GM even knows what the other two are cooking up. If the Nats want to make a big offer to one of the Cubs' fancy free agents, starter Jake Arrieta or closer Wade Davis, both Boras' clients, be my guest. New Nats manager Dave Martinez, the Cubs bench coach last season, can say how much he thinks they are worth, and how much their loss would hurt the Cubs. Also, if the Nats find a way to trade prospects, not named Victor Robles or Eric Fed, to the Marlins for gifted catcher JT Realmuto or else sign vet free agent Alex Avila, who has a strong arm and a consistent lefty bat, that's okay, too. And whatever they do, the Nats need at least one more decent righty reliever. Nationals sign Matt Adams to replace slugging bench piece Adam Lind, but the central wisdom of this Nats winter is they don't have to do anything. Not now. The memory of the final 9-8 loss in the division series is still so raw that it's natural for those who are most invested in the Nats to think that change is a must. The Lerners, in their post-loss anguish, already let go of manager Dusty Baker. That may be Martinez's good fortune. He inherits a team that, if it does little more this winter, is already holding a 97-win full house. And Martinez adds to the Nats the one thing Baker lacked: enthusiasm for modern analytics. Now, the best ideas about lineup construction and in-game strategy that the Nats front office generate will be embraced, not deflected, at the clubhouse door. Of course, the Astros, Dodgers, Yankees, Indians or Cubs may have four of a kind. Or even a straight flush. I've never seen so many teams with pat hands. But the Nats are one of them, at least for next season, and anyone who appreciates baseball wants to see them play out the cards they're holding. The Nats are sitting on a likely 100-win season even if they sleep until spring training. They won 97 games last season despite a putrid bullpen that torched games for 4 months. Now that Kintzler has rejoined Doolittle and Madson, isn't that worth 3 more wins next year? At least. Last year, the Nats' opening day lineup was hurt so often that they averaged just 107 games per man. The world champion Astros averaged 132. With normal health, rather than 98 games for Turner, 111 for Bryce Harper, 70 for Jason Worth and just 23 for Eaton, how many more would the Nats win? Also, the putrid National League East, with no one within 21 games of the Nats, may be even worse next season. Miami is having a fire sale with 4% team owner Derek Jeter as head arsonist. Atlanta is going backward. The Phillies and Mets should be better, because how much worse could they be? The next time that the Nats need to be diligent is probably at the August 1st trade deadline. This is an enormous luxury conferred every year on well-constructed rosters. You can wait, watch and see what you really need, and who might be desperate enough to give it to you cheaply for the pennant and playoff push. The Astros and Dodgers met in the World Series with Justin Verlander and Yu Darvish, who arrived at the beginning and end of August, as top starters. Why try to make expensive, risky decisions now, trying to guess which pitchers will still have their arms attached to their bodies by the All-Star break, when you can just wait and find out, and then poach what you need? Cody Glover says he's learned from last year. The Nationals sure hope so. The reason the Nats can do very little this winter, or at least do nothing foolish, is because so much went right last season. Ironically, almost everything that seemed bad at the time has worked out well for the future. If the bullpen hadn't burned down in the first half of the season, there'd be no Kintzler, Madson and Doolittle contentment now. Also, every injury let youngsters play, and how they played. After replacing Eaton in late April, Michael A. Taylor hit 21 homers with 60 RBI in fewer than 400 at-bats, including the playoffs. He batted .282 and had an .848 on-base-plus-slugging percentage. If he played 150 games, Fangraphs says he'd have been the third-best defensive player in MLB after shortstop Andrelton Simmons and the Nats' third baseman Anthony Rendon. Taylor now has a future in center field in D.C., solving a key position. After replacing Turner at shortstop, Wilmer Difo hit .303 over the last 3 months and proved he was a plus defensive shortstop. The Nats now view him as, at least, a switch-hitting utility man with speed and a top glove, or else a starting middle infielder, under team control through 2022, after Daniel Murphy leaves. After Worth and, later, Harper were hurt, Brian Goodwin and 20-year-old rookie Robles, the youngest player in the majors, got valuable exposure. Goodwin had 21 doubles and 13 homers in less than half a season, better than his minor league projections. Found money. Robles was so impressive, hitting .300 at multiple minor league stops, and causing gasps with his speed running out triples in Nats Park, that he's now the number 3 prospect in the sport. The Nats already knew, but now their fans do, too. Robles will be a standout. The only question, the same that applies to Turner now that he has proved he can handle defense at shortstop, is, how big a star? Finally, but far from least important, Ryan Zimmerman hit .303 with 36 homers and 108 RBI. He even rested 18 games so that he'd be fresh in September when he slugged .671. Seems impossible, but it happened. New facts change old evaluations. A year ago, Zim looked like Vernon Wells at the same age, about washed up. Now, entering his age 33 season, he looks more like Scott Rowland or Aramis Ramirez. Maybe even a second-act star like Reggie Smith. Suddenly, the bullpen is fixed. The outfield, with a healthy Eaton as an ideal replacement for the departed Worth, looks set for years, even if Harper leaves a year from now. If Harper signs a big deal to stay, the Nats have valuable pieces they can trade. Difo stabilizes the whole infield, and Zimmerman, with Adams to give him breathers, locks down first base. Steven Strasburg's brilliance in October makes him an ideal tandem with Max Scherzer for future playoffs. Now, or later, the Nats would like to add another starter to their rotation. They'd also prefer a better catching tandem than Matt Winters, whose bat speed is dwindling, and either Pedro Severino or Roddy Reed as his backup. But, no rush. Now. Or later. In time for Christmas or deep in the summer. Few teams have that luxury. We'll find out if the Nationals can handle such options wisely. Read more coverage. Nationals sign former draft pick Tommy Milone to minor league deal analysis. The Nationals could use an upgrade at catcher. Is JT Realmuto the answer? Recovered from ACL tear, Adam Eaton is biting at the bit to get trolling with Nationals Tanner Roark on not pitching in the playoffs.